After sleeping in late, and another adequate breakfast at the restaurant on the top floor of the Prague Hotel, I made my way to Tan Son Nhat Airport, the Ho Chi Minh City International Airport. I had booked a flight to Brunei on Royal Brunei Airlines. The short 2-hour flight on an A320neo was uneventful. We landed at Bandar Seri Begawan, Brunei International Airport, under overcast skies. When we landed, the crew was kind enough to allow me a brief flight deck visit of the A320neo. I got to the Terrace Hotel and went to bed. The next day, I arranged a private tour of Brunei, a small country with a population of about 459,000. The guide for the tour was Sandra.
Your guide, my name is Sandra. So this is our Royal Regalia Museum. So this one is the Royal Chariots.
The first stop was the Royal Regalia Museum. This large building houses a collection of items belonging to the Sultans of Brunei, as well as some of the many presents gifted by heads of state to the Sultanate over the years. We placed our personal items into lockers provided near the entrance, and then walked upstairs to peruse the galleries. There was a spectacular gold room with a throne and other items made of solid gold, which was heavily guarded by armed officers who strictly enforced the no photos policy. Here is a part of one of the galleries of gifts from world leaders to the sultans. There was a huge, life-size display of the carriage the Sultan is transported in for the coronation ceremony. The display is complete with uniformed mannequins showing the regalia worn by the Sultan's honor guard. This display is so big, it is impossible to get it all in one shot, even with a wide-angle lens. The main rotunda of the Royal Regalia Museum, with its cyan-colored dome, is dominated by the royal chariot. This enormous and impressive chariot is designed to be pulled by dozens of men. After the museum, we viewed the legislative and government buildings across the street. The High Court building, and passed by one of the few Chinese temples in Brunei. Then we moved on to visit the Sultan Omar Al Saifuddin Mosque, which has 28 gold-colored domes to honor the 28th Sultan of Brunei who commissioned the mosque. The entrance walkway featured a fountain and Islamic arches. The mosque had a very unusual lobby or vestibule, which had a grand marble staircase, grooved pillars, and a dome with stained glass, as well as a unique fountain. The main prayer hall featured a large chandelier and a beautiful dome. We then went to the Brunei Energy Hub. Oil is the main source of Brunei's wealth. The Energy Hub featured large video dioramas showing the history of oil exploration in Brunei. Timelines of the industry, models of drilling rigs and oil tankers, and a spectacular view over the Brunei River. We departed the Energy Center and went to a nearby pier where we took a boat ride along the river. Bruneians originally lived in houses on stilts over the river and ocean shallows, until modern times when large buildings started appearing on land. Some of this heritage is still visible, for example, in the school built on stilts, and the many houses on stilts. Along the way, we passed by this mosque with its distinctive yellow and green minarets, and caught a glimpse of the royal palace in the distance. We visited a typical generational home built over the water, with its large kitchen and traditional sitting room. I was given some home-baked Brunei snacks and mint tea. I admired the family photos and saw the walkways that connect the houses in this overwater village. Then back on the boat, past the local fire station, then onward to see the stunning exterior of the Golden Mosque. With a ceremonial stone barge in the lake which mirrors the mosque. Its large gold dome is visible throughout most of the city. went to see the exterior of the Sultan's palace. There is not much to see except the extensive fences and the security checkpoint. But we stopped for photos at the front gate. Which suddenly opened and motorcycle police emerged. Followed by the Sultan of Brunei driving a Mercedes SUV and trailed by a sedan with his bodyguards. As the only tourist outside the palace, he waved to me as he sped by, but unfortunately I could not move my camera fast enough to capture a good image. So you will have to be satisfied with this official photo of the Sultan and the Queen, which can be seen in many places in Brunei. On the way back into the city, we passed one of the few Christian churches in the country. After the tour, I went for supper at the Amsarra restaurant, the only Middle Eastern restaurant I could find. I had an excellent supper of Baba Ghanoush, hummus, tabbouleh, a lamb kebab, grilled veggies, and rice. Afterwards, I visited a supermarket in the same mall just to see what's on offer. They had a large fresh veggies section, a well-stocked meat department, and many familiar brands available. Unlike Malaysia, which has non-halal sections, usually hidden in the back, there is no pork, alcohol, or cigarettes for sale in the country. The guide told me that people who want to buy these items have to drive for about 90 minutes to the nearest town in neighboring Malaysia to get them. After a busy day, I retired to the hotel for some rest. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.